Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Piper and Brandy, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Piper's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands. And I know many of these obedience commands Piper already knew. We've taken what she's known, we've tried to make it better for you, given her more self-control, more of a sense of self. So we're going to demonstrate that for you, and then some of her special skills that Brandy and she have been working on. Now, the first thing that we want to take a moment to introduce is the training equipment that we're using. We're using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and Brandy keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in her right hand. That leaves her left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a gentle tug and release on the training collar, as a reminder that whatever it is you're doing right at this moment, we're not fond of it. And that is just her reminder. It's not painful, but it is a little bit of a reminder for her because she is easily distracted, as you know. Now, she is sitting very nicely at Brandy's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. The command is Piper heel. And at this point, Miss Piper has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when you're walking her. Not forging ahead or lagging behind, but walking nicely at your left. And each time that you stop your feet, Piper has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So this makes walking her outdoors a pleasure. She isn't dragging you down the street. She's walking nicely like a lady. And each time that you stop your feet, she sits automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So when you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she should be sitting there waiting like a lady for you to tell her what to do next. So all of these exercises are designed to help to develop her self-control, her ability to focus and pay attention, and to look up at you and to see what you want her to do next. Now, the next command that Brandy's going to demonstrate is the sit stay. Piper has a habit of wanting to do automatic downs, so you have to be careful with your hand signals that you're very explicit, and with your verbal commands, because she'll anticipate the next command. Your long sit stay, when you're practicing at home, you're going to start out at about 30 seconds. You're going to slowly work up to 3 minutes. Brandy dropped her leash. She gives her another stay command. She walks all the way around her in a counterclockwise direction, ends up back at Piper's shoulders, and they're ready to do the next command. Brandy says, Piper heel. She picks up her leash, and they start to walk again. And all of these things are helping Piper to develop self-control. She can be very dramatic, very over the top, very overly excited, all things I know that you know about her already. And Brandy is praising her, but quietly and softly, not over the top. Some dogs we need to be a cheering section for. Other dogs, if you do that, they go right off the page. This time, instead of returning back to her, Brandy's going to call her. This is the recall, or the come on command, and she is to come and sit right in front, facing your knees, and that eliminates any need that she has to jump all over you, and she goes back to heeling. Brandy and she have worked very hard on all of these commands and perfecting them. Yes, she knew them, but she also chose when to do them. Brandy drops the leash, walks out past the end of her leash, and she's going to call her. Good girl, Piper. Good girl. Comes right in and sits. Very good. So this is the beginning of intermediate work, where you start dropping your leash and having her do these commands. A lot of these commands she does spectacularly off leash in the house. Out here there's smells, there's birds, there's squirrels, there's the smell of other dogs. So she's not quite as good with intermediate, but she's getting there. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a heel position. So with her seated at your left, you're going to take your left open palm straight down toward the ground, the one-word command to down and stay. Now your long down stay, practice right in your living room. And Brandy's also going to demonstrate later. We're going to go inside the go to place command, which I think for you needing personal space and for her respecting your personal space, you're going to use that go to place command a lot. Brandy returned all the way back to her just as she did on the sit stay. She gives her the heel command, and Piper got up to heel without Brandy picking up the leash. So this is the beginning of off-leash healing. Always have your dog seated before you attempt to put her into a down.
Stay.
Brandy gave her the down stay. She drops her leash and walks away. So she's got some decent distance between her and the dog, and Piper's holding that command very well. She calls her in. If she gets distracted on the way in, you can grab your leash, but she only briefly got distracted, and she came in and sat. And you can see that working together as a team, practice is important. And practice gives you a dog that is a little bit more mentally tired and less needy. And you're putting distance between you and she. Good job. Now the very last command that we're going to demonstrate for you out here is your down from a distance. So you're going to leave her in a sit stay. You're going to turn to face her. This time you're going to use your right hand to give the command and drop her into a down from a distance. Brandy gives her another stay and backs all the way away from her. Now we have demonstrated for you our version of all the formal on-leash obedience commands. Piper's done a great job. We're going to go inside and we're going to demonstrate her go-to-place command so that you have that in your vocabulary for when she's being a nudge in the house and she won't give you your personal space. So we'll be right back, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.